Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to America's longest bridges, and yeah, this is just one that I saw pop up on my YouTube feed, and I thought, why not give it a reaction, or give it a watch. But yeah, obviously if you've not checked this person's channel out before, go show them some love and stuff, because this video was posted recently. So obviously if you just click the link in the description, you can find their video and you can like it, watch it through there as well if you'd prefer that. And I mean, yeah, America's longest bridges. I don't really know many of them, but I know the Golden Gate Bridge is probably the most famous bridge in the world, or up there with London Bridge, and they are all the bridges that I can think of. But no, there obviously are some huge bridges here, and yeah, we're going to see some of them, but hopefully going to enjoy it. It's a bit of a different topic, but it's going to be interesting just to see some of these bridges in the first place, let alone see how big they are, or how long they are. But yeah, let's jump into this. Hopefully going to enjoy. Links are in the description to my Patreon if you want to see some more of my reactions that I post on there, because I can't post them to YouTube for whatever reason, whether it's TV series, music reactions, all kinds of things. But yeah, links are there for those interested. But let's jump into this and see America's longest bridges. And also, will Golden Gate Bridge even be on here?
Bridges are incredibly important to travel in the U.S., connecting areas that would otherwise be separated from each other. This greatly reduces travel time between locations, in turn boosting the areas economically. In places like the Bay Area, a simple bridge between San Francisco and Oakland can take an hour and a half off travel time and connect two important cities. They are so incredibly important to this country.
Oh, wow.
So today I wanted to go over the 10 largest bridges in America and go over when they were built, why they were built, and how they affect the country. Before that though, I wanted to quickly ask if you would please consider subscribing to the channel. We make content like this every single week, exploring different geography-related topics. So if that's the kind of thing that interests you, please click the subscribe button below.
I might have to subscribe.
So there's one main trend you'll notice in this video, related to the regions and areas we see these bridges located in. 7 of the 10 bridges I'll be talking about today
Is this a real picture? What the fuck?
are located in a swampy region, specifically the Gulf Coast region, and especially southeastern Louisiana, where there's a lot of population in a very swampy area, which requires bridges for major infrastructural purposes to connect the city across the nearby swamps. These areas make bridges a lot easier to build at long distances because of the shallow water. Some of these are basically just elevated highways with a bit of water underneath, but they're still technically bridges.
What the hell?
So without further ado, let's get into the list and start out with our number 10, the General W.K. Wilson Jr. Bridge in Alabama. So this bridge is located to the north of Mobile, on the crossing of the Mobile River by Interstate 65. It's 6 miles long, spanning across the expansive swampy region formed by the river. Constructed in a 2-year span between 1978 and 1980, the bridge was opened and served a pretty important purpose of connecting the Mobile Metro to the northeast over a wide area of swamp. This bridge is more commonly known as the Dolly Parton Bridge because apparently the bridge has red warning lights on top of the parallel support arches, which when combined with the shape of the supporting arches when approaching from certain directions looks like Dolly Parton or something. I'm not entirely sure what the thought process there was.
This would be one insane drive. Imagine driving on this, just all the views you'd have. But also kind of sketchy. If you crash, you're screwed.
But it's a funny name, and it's a lot easier to say than the General W.K. Wilson Jr. Bridge. Next up on our list, we move to a more commonly known bridge, the 7 Mile Bridge in Florida. Located in the Florida Keys, this bridge connects the East Keys to the West Keys at a distance of not 7 miles, but 6.7, so a little under. Originally, this was a railroad route until 1935, when it was damaged in a hurricane. From there, it was sold to the U.S. government, who converted it to an automobile route. Now, that means it was very thin, so as the tourism industry started to flourish in the Keys and automobiles became more popular, they were forced to build a new bridge over the gap. This new bridge, completed in 1972, is still just 2 lanes, but is more modern and safe. You can actually still walk on the old 7 Mile Bridge, as it's now used as a heritage trail.
What the
and
hell?
right in the middle, a tree grew on it, so that's pretty cool.
Oh, damn.
Next up, we move to the only western bridge on this list. Located in the Bay Area, this would be the San Mateo Hayward Bridge, more commonly known as the San Mateo Bridge. This 7-mile bridge connects the middle part of the Bay Area. Originally, a lift bridge was opened in 1929 by a private company. This bridge was tolled and actually didn't see all that much traffic for the first few decades of its life. But as the years went on, road and marine traffic increased.
Look at that. Flipping hell. Why did they make it so straight and then curve it? Why wouldn't they just go straight here? There's obviously reasons, but what is the reason for this? Such a low bridge as well. But yeah, they went this way and then just curved it. Did they get confused building it or something?
And
Like,
in
what?
1967, a new bridge was opened to traffic. The bridge is located in an incredibly dangerous area for earthquakes, and in fact the bridge was closed in 1989 in the wake of the Loma Prieta earthquake.
Oh,
Though
damn.
this is still a concern, extensive seismic
that.
retrofitting took place between 1997 and 2000 to protect the bridge against damage caused by earthquakes. Next up we have the Jubilee Parkway in Alabama, where we move back to a sort of sister bridge to the Dolly Parton Bridge. Located further south on the Mobile River, this one actually comes straight out of the city's downtown, connecting to the east at the edge of the Mobile Bay. At 8 miles long, this bridge was opened in 1978 as a divided highway connector over the bridge. I've got a couple interesting things to mention here. First of all, there's the diamond interchange midway through the bridge with US 98, something you don't commonly see that I thought was pretty cool. Secondly, there have been extended talks of expanding the parkway to a total of 8 lanes, in addition to a connecting cable-stayed bridge that would bypass a tunnel on the west side of the bridge. This has been a controversial idea due to its economic and visual effect on the city. First of all, it would be the second tallest structure in the entire city, which may overshadow the city's skyline. But secondly, the clearance of the bridge would hamper large ships and cruise ships from accessing the port of Mobile. Next up, we have the Louisiana Highway 1 bridge, also known as the Gateway to
Look
the
at the
Gulf Expressway.
The shape
This
again.
bridge being the first of our list in southeast.
The shapes are so weird. Goes like this and then just comes and curves like that. So straight here, but then there's probably reasons the land maybe isn't, you can't build in it or something.
In Louisiana, connects Grand Isle and Port Fortune to the mainland. At 8.26 miles long, this is an interesting bridge connecting to a very peculiar area, cut off from the rest of the state and located on the edge of the Louisiana swamp. Grand Isle on its own has always been interesting to me, but the fact that there's such a long bridge connecting to a 1,000 population community like this is probably the most interesting part about it.
Yeah.
This is a very new bridge, completed in 2011, likely more related to the port than the small city of Grand Isle. Next up, we return to Louisiana for the I-10 Bonnet-Carré Spillway Bridge, located just outside the New Orleans metro to the west, connecting I-10 into the city from the swampy areas going outside of the city. The bridge is 11 miles long.
Does New Orleans get a lot of like alligator infestations and this sort of stuff? Because I'm associating swampland, swamp areas with alligators, snakes, all this crazy wildlife that is so dangerous. Is there a lot of these cases where they'll come into the city and cause havoc or just be spotted or whatever it is? I'm sure there is cases like that, right?
And mostly just passes over wetlands, but also goes along the coast of Lake Pontchartrain for a small portion. Opened in 1972, the bridge is yet another one with a major interchange located along it. Being in such a flat region, the highest ramp gives you a great view of the wetlands, as well as the New Orleans skyline in the distance. Next up, we move to the only bridge on this list located in the northeast, the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. Now, this is more arguable, because the distance of the bridge does also include the tunnel portions.
Oh, so these are tunnel parts. They go under the water.
And the longest portion of continuous bridge is only 5.75 miles long. But including the whole thing, it's a full 17.8 miles long, making it the fourth longest bridge in the U.S. The bridge serves as an important connector between the Hampton Roads Metro and the Delmarva Peninsula, creating a route that would otherwise be impassable without a ferry, unless you'd rather take the near 8-hour trip up through D.C. to the next bridge. Next, we move into the top 3, which are all located in southeast Louisiana. First up, we have the Atchafalaya Basin Bridge, located to the west of Baton Rouge. This bridge extends 18 miles across the swampy landscape of the Atchafalaya River. This is another crossing on I-10, opened in 1973. Accidents frequently occur on the two river crossings, as they are both very narrow and lack shoulders. This is a major problem because the basin is very sparsely inhabited, and as I just said, there aren't any shoulders, so it can really mess with traffic when it does happen. Next, we have the second largest bridge in the U.S., the Manchac Swamp Bridge, located just west of the New Orleans metro, but this time stretching to the north along the west coast of Lake Pontchartrain. This is an incredibly swampy area in between two lakes, and so the fact that they managed to complete this at all is very impressive.
Yeah, that is crazy how they've managed to build it. Like, how do they do this? These jobs to build these bridges must be absolute hell.
23 miles long, it just misses the title of the longest bridge in the U.S. It does arguably take the title of longest non-toll bridge in the entire world, as well as the longest bridge in the interstate system. So on to our number 1. Staying in Louisiana, we have the Lake Pontchartrain Causeway. At a crazy
And it's next to it as well. This one's here and then this one's here.
24 miles, this bridge runs straight down the middle of Lake Pontchartrain, coming out of the New Orleans Metro to the north and connecting across the open water to Chinchuba and Covington. Now, unlike the other Louisiana bridges, this one's not over a swamp, but over the large lake. And even though the water is fairly shallow, it still makes the idea of this bridge much more impressive. Opened in 1956 going southbound and 1969 going northbound, the bridge is more historic than any other Louisiana one, with the idea going back as far as 1930. This bridge highly boosted the economies in communities on Lake Pontchartrain's North Shore by cutting 50 minutes off travel time into New Orleans. So that's the list for today. This should help your knowledge
Well, there we go. The biggest bridges. Some of these are so fascinating, man. I actually biked the entire length of the Florida Keys, and going over the 7 Mile Bridge on a bike is amazing. I wouldn't call the Chesapeake Bay the Northeast. This is interesting, man. I mean, biggest bridge in England. What would that be? I'm not expecting big at all. You got obviously the channel where you can go under from like England to France. So Romford, how much is? Wait, meters in. That's 5.6 miles, right? Yeah, it is 5,600. Oh no, it's not. 3.4 miles, and that's the biggest in England. Not even a comparison. Wow. The Humber Bridge. Oh, it doesn't even know, but yeah, this was. Oh wait, feet. I have no idea. But wait, 4,600. It's just 4,600. No, it's not doing it right. But yeah, nowhere near the size of the US bridges. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this reaction. If you've been on one of these bridges, I mean, I don't really know what you can say, but yeah, being on a bridge that big would creep me out. But at the same time, it makes your life a whole lot easier. So yeah, that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed, and until next time, like, subscribe. Peace.